This is Chef Kyle, and for today, one of my clients asked me to do an appetizer and an entree for her. Let's see what's in her pantry.
So here comes Kyle, and this is a great client for you, right?
Yes.
Because they've had you come a lot of times for
Yes.
holidays and stuff.
Yes, this is
and
actually
cook for them.
this is almost like my 10th time there.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm not only comfortable in the kitchen and I know where everything is, but it's great when you feel comfortable with your surroundings and of course the people that you're cooking for.
Absolutely. Now, what you're doing here, you're making an appetizer.
Yes.
And the first thing you're cutting is the jalapenos. Things
Right.
we should know. What should we know about cutting jalapenos?
Okay,
Anything?
well, it's a couple of things. First of all, if you want it to stay hot, the inside part, the seeds, must be maintained. Otherwise, unless you're roasting them, you're doing it with a different thing. As you see here, I cut off the very ends, and then after that, just cut the whole thing down to smaller pieces because it's going to go into a Cuisinart. After that,
okay.
there's going to be more to do with the next parts.
Oh, okay, cool. So the celery. But I noticed that you're cutting the celery off and you cut the butt part off first.
Right. Now, unfortunately,
Why do you-
there's parts of the celery you can eat more or less, unless
Right.
you're going to cook with it for flavor.
Right.
And then there's parts you can't. Since this is a dip that's going directly into the mouth, you want the, I don't want to say sweeter, but the more palatable parts
I
to go
got
in.
it. That's why when you're cutting these celery pieces off and you're washing them off, you're doing it very meticulously, by the
Right,
way.
because I want them to be a certain size. You don't need it to be big. This is going to be an appetizer, so it's going to go small in someone's mouth. You just want to taste enough to dip, so you don't have to dip it twice. You're not giving somebody the whole stick.
Oh, so this is the dip part. So this is not going to go in the ingredients.
No,
the
this is
dip
actually going to
part.
be the part to go into the dip.
Here we go. Because if we're looking at this particular part of the dip, now you're mixing it with what, Kyle? What
That's
are you mixing it
actually
with?
Daisy, as you can see.
Oh, that's sour cream? I can't read it.
That's right. And what's
Okay.
good about it is you take that, and depending on the level of heat, the sour cream brings it down, gives it a little bit more of a smoothness. And the last thing that I did add that you may not have gotten the chance to see was the hummus. And the nice thing is the hummus, which of course everybody knows
I love
is
hummus.
chickpeas.
I love hummus.
Is that it's not only blended already, but when you add that for the flavor, when you add the jalapeno, and then of course, again, the daisy, now you have a nice blend, enough where you get it thick enough, not like ice cream, but thick enough like almost a thick milkshake, which is a little bit less down.
Okay.
After that,
is
now the rest
cool.
is just refrigerate, because that's how you see me now putting it into the bowl.
Okay, that's a nice bowl too.
That
by
sits
the
in
way.
the refrigerator. The celery sits in the refrigerator, and the only thing left to do is just take out the chips that you're going to dip, and now you're ready to serve.
Oh, cool. So now we're talking about the entree, which I notice is beef, but you're doing the onion, right?
Now, you see me cutting
And you're
the
doing
onion.
it with a cleaver. Oh my goodness.
Well, the good thing about the cleaver is because it's curved and because of the way you can use a cleaver, and it's not just because of my hand, it's because of the fact of the size of the thing and how it can go through easier. A long knife sometimes, it's not dangerous, but it's by the way that you can cut an actual onion. You cut it in half. Then you cut it crossways that's parallel to your board into at least 2 or 3 slices. Then you cut it vertically to the board. And next thing you know, you got your little cubes for how small you want the pieces to be.
Okay.
After
so-
I did that,
okay.
I had already put the green beans and the mushrooms in the pan with some oil.
Sounds good.
And I have them sauteing because I want to put the onions on top, then the green beans. And then the next thing would be the beef.
How are you cutting the beef?
Now, the beef was in nice strips, but I'm cutting it down to smaller pieces because that's going to go in, and I don't need it to be too big so it cooks too hard. I want it to cook soft, so smaller pieces cook a little faster, they cook a little softer, and they also give you a little bit more of an oil.
About how big are these? Because they're not strips like you
No,
said,
they're
right?
about a ½ inch thick. They're about 2
okay.
inch by 5 inch, and I cut them down to pieces that were almost like cubes. And from there, I then added my sauce.
It's kind of dark, this picture.
Right. What I had was
But what's the sauce? Yeah, what's in the sauce?
I had sesame oil,
Ooh,
and then
that's why it
Asian-
looks so dark.
and Asian barbecue sauce. But since those are both very sweet, You learned that to bring sweet down, you can sometimes add just a little bit of lemon. The juice, not the zest. I added the juice. I made it just in the right taste. And after that, I was able to put it in, mix it, and you'll see the finished product.
Okay. Oh, you have rice here in the plate.
Right.
So what type of rice is that?
That's jasmine rice.
Oh, okay.
And what I do is, of course, I plated the jasmine rice into a nice mold, put the melange of everything else right on top.
Oh, that looks beautiful.
And now you're ready to serve.
Oh, wow. I bet they liked it.
They really did.
This is Chef Kyle, and boy did that look good. The next time I come, I'm gonna make sure I bring one of these. So thanks so much for watching, and that was what was in her pantry. See you later.